Hi there, this is Mo Volans for Point Blank Music School, and we're currently looking at Final Touch by Positive Grid for the iPad. Now, one processor that not everybody uses in mastering is Reverb, but it can be really useful, and luckily Final Touch has got an excellent Mastering Reverb processor built right into it, and we're going to take a look at how you can use it to enhance just about any mix. So far we've been looking at electronic music, and you might have heard in the intro there was a very different type of track playing in the background, and the reason for this is I wanted to show you the Mastering Reverb that's included with Final Touch, and there's a section of this track that I think is going to work very well, and also this shows you that it's not just for electronic music. We're going to be able to master literally any style of music in Final Touch. So let's have a quick listen to the breakdown. And this is an awesome mix, but I'd like to make it a little bit more epic in nature. And this might be something you want to do with a simple acoustic track. It might be something you want to do with a drum section of your track. Really, it doesn't matter. But sometimes you just might want to add some more depth and some more space to the mix. Now, to do this, I'm going to use the Mastering Reverb, and Reverb may not be something you've thought about using in mastering, but it can be extremely useful. Now, here it is in its reset default state, if you like, and you can see to the bottom left we've got three different flavors of reverb. We've got room, hall, and plate. Now, plate reverbs are huge. It's going to replicate a huge metal plate hung in a wall or in a case, and it gives you a really individual type of sound. A hall is obviously a larger space, and a room is obviously a smaller space. So you've got these three different flavors. Once you've selected the one you want, I think we're going to go for hall. You can start to alter the parameters. You've got room size, you've got the amount of reflection, so that's the type of materials that are in that room, and you've got the simple decay time. You've then got a pre-delay to make things slightly more realistic, and we've got a really useful high-pass filter. What this means is that you're not going to be treating your low end in your mix with this reverb, because you don't really want huge low-end sounds being struck around a huge space. It's just not going to work well. Now, if something like this is a bit confusing to you, or maybe it's not something you've used before, this is a good time to use the device-based presets, and I've not really touched on this yet. But if you look at any device, you'll see a preset area up here. It's always in the same place, and you can click on it and you can get a couple of presets to get you started. I think the Stadium would be excellent for this track, so I'm going to open that and then I'm going to switch the processor on, and you can see that parameters are now dialed in. I'm also going to add some high pass, and let's listen now to this area of the track. And with it out. So it's pretty subtle, but we can solo the wet sound. And this is what's being added to the master. We can adjust the amount of wet signal coming in, and we can even adjust the amount of dry. I tend to leave that at 100%, and then just mix in, say, 30 or 40% of the wet. And if used correctly and in the right amount, you can just open up the stereo image, you can make the whole thing sound more epic and more impressive. And sometimes once you've had it in for a while, you don't want to take it out. So it's a really nice way of using reverb. So you can see we've got loads of flexibility here. We've got just a few controls, so it's not too complex, but we've got just the right amount of control to give you the perfect sound in mastering, especially this high pass and low pass filter, so you can home in on a specific frequency area of your mix to treat with the reverb. In the next couple of videos, we're going to move away from these individual devices, and we're going to start to look at additional and more advanced features that are going to help you get the most out of Final Touch.